As a child, I loved scary stories. Still do, really. I read such stuff voraciously, and it was in one of those sorts of books that I ran into a tale you may have heard of before, the story of the Tumbling Coffins of Barbados. It's commonly cited as an example of supernatural forces at work. Here's an abbreviated version of the story. If you're curious, you can probably find a more extensive one online. The Chase family were wealthy plantation owners in Barbados. They had a family vault in the graveyard in Christchurch Parish in the little village of Osteens. The first time the vault was used was in 1807 for a Mrs. Thomasina Goddard. In 1812, the vault was opened again, this time for the burial of 2-year-old Mary Ann Chase, and 2 years later, in 1814, her sister Dorcas Chase joined them. A few weeks later, Thomas Chase died. Thomas was Mary Ann and Dorcas's father, and when they opened the vault, they found something very, very odd. The 3 coffins that had already been placed there had all been moved. They were put back in their place, and the Chase family patriarch's coffin was added, and the tomb was sealed up again. The family suspected the disarray had been because of an attempted grave robbery, and they sealed a large stone over the entrance to the vault. When it was reopened 4 years later for the burial of 11-year-old Charles Brewster Ames, the 4 coffins that were inside were moved again, and in fact even Thomas Chase's, which was a heavy lead-lined coffin, had been moved out of place. 52 days later, the vault was opened again, this time for the funeral of Samuel Brewster. Now the coffins were in complete disarray. In fact, one of them was standing on his head against the wall. By this time, the story had become well known across the island. This got the governor of Barbados, Lord Combermere, involved. He visited the site and ordered that fine sand be sprinkled across the floor of the vault, and then the stone re-cemented into the opening of the vault and impressed his own insignia into the wet cement. His curiosity only let him wait 2 years to find out what was going on. He ordered the vault opened and found the coffins again completely tumbled about. But the sand on the floor and the cement insignia were both untouched. The governor was completely freaked out, understandably. He ordered that the coffins be buried elsewhere and the vault be left open and empty. It's become something of a tourist attraction. People wanting to know the origins of such a chilling legend come to it every year. Now, the first question the skeptic should ask is, what's the quality of the evidence? The answer in this case seems to be not very high. The originator of the tale was one Reverend Thomas Orderson, who was the rector of Christchurch during the time that the incidents allegedly occurred. The problem is, what's been recorded of Orderson's recollections all differ in details. The version I've given you here matches the one that appeared in 1823 in Transatlantic Sketches by James Edward Alexander. The story appeared again in 1844 and then once again in 1860, but those iterations both differ in detail. Add to that the fact that folklorist Andrew Lang went to Barbados, scoured the records of Christchurch Parish, and found nothing in the way of supporting evidence for any of the claims. Not even the newspapers of the time, which you'd think would have jumped on such a sensational story, had a hint of the wild goings-on in the Chase vault. Various explanations have been given for the restless Coffins incident. Seepage of water into the vault, earthquakes, more fanciful things, vengeful ghosts, evil curses, voodoo. But in order to have need for an explanation, it very much remains to be seen if there's anything there to explain. It seems like the case of the Barbados coffins was spun from whole cloth by Reverend Orderson. Psychics and ghost hunters often get annoyed with us skeptics because we have our doubts about eyewitness testimony. Odd, isn't it, that eyewitness testimony is ranked highest in a court of law when scientific experiments have shown conclusively that it is highly unreliable. The human memory is an incredibly pliable thing. It's simply too easy to fool the human perceptual apparatus, twist around recollections, actually engender new memories, or, in the case of Reverend Orderson, it seems, to lie outright. And maybe the juries take eyewitness testimony seriously, but in science, we need more than, "I saw it happen with my own eyes." And in the case of the tumbling coffins of Barbados, we need more than the recollections of a fanciful clergyman. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Our resources are down there, and please subscribe to our channel. Thanks.